Welcome back to the Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear and bull case on your weekly and daily predictions. Please, if you like the content, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. If you're a returning subscriber, I beg of you, hit that like button. Let's get those likes up there because it helps those YouTube algorithms get my videos out there, and that motivates me to continue giving some of the best analysis you are going to find anywhere. Now, let's get into it. So, on the weekly, we have decreasing volume overall, and we have increasing exiting volume, and we still have some sell-off potential. There's definitely sell-off potential. We've got momentum going in the bearish direction. It's looking very ugly. So, I don't necessarily like what I see on the weekly here, but I will say this. I'll give you my best bear case. I'll give you my best bull case for the weekly. Now, my best bear case is clearly that somehow we fall through all of this and we just end up in market crash territory. I'm not convinced that's going to happen yet. I don't think we're going to fall through all of our support yet. Not convinced. I'll have to wait until I see things happening, and then I'll let you know. I think if we break 405, where the 150 EMA is located, boy, look out below at that point. We're really getting into some sketchy territory, really, around the between the 40997 and the 41457. Really, even there, it's kind of a danger zone, thinly traded through there. So definitely need to keep an eye on that. I think what's going to happen on the weekly, that's the best bear case, I would say, in reality, just minus a complete crash. I think the best bear case is that we would come down to 40997. We'd back test some of this thinly traded area, and that's as far as we would fall before getting a bounce. Now, I suspect I'll tell you what my opinion is soon. I think the best bull case is that we come to the 42431 and we hold there, flag a bit, and then we kind of take off from there because that'll be sufficient for the market to say, okay, we look good, we've back tested enough, we're on our way up. Now, and perhaps we head back up into this rising channel again. Maybe we get support here. And maybe by week's end, we've made it back up to 44574, somewhere in there, that range. My case, my opinion, what I see playing out on the week is this. I see continued downward momentum. I see us falling through on the week all the way down to the 41457 area at most. We may only need to touch 42080. I think at that point, once we have back tested that area, that gives the market a lot more confidence in what's going on here, because we will have now we will have tested that area really 3 times, and this would be a double tap here off of this rise. So we would have back tested twice, and it almost looks a little bit like a very large consolidation phase, perhaps. And you know what happens after consolidation, if you've been watching my Market Wolf tutorial videos that you can find in the teaching section playlist here on the Market Wolf, so check that out. But in any case, I think we end up at the end of the week perhaps finishing bullish despite all of the bearish indicators. I suspect that if we back test here, we will probably have institutional money come back in, and we will end with a candle that looks something similar to this one here, where we see we back tested this large area. Oh my gosh, we even got into that thinly traded kind of scary area, and it's possible we could come down that far here. And then we moved back up and regained on the week. So and you can see it's a somewhat similar setup here when you compare the candlesticks. So I suspect we actually end with a bullish on the week despite the beginning of the week being very bearish. Now, I could be totally wrong. The whole market could collapse. Institutional money may not come back and buy here. Institutional money may not come back and buy until we come a lot lower, maybe 405 or 409. It's tough to know for sure, but we do have a lot of major support areas here and orders here, so that's something to take a look at. Now, that wraps up the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily, we've got increasing exiting volume. We've got room still to go down, absolutely. EMA lines are looking like they've essentially begun to straighten themselves out, although we are below all of that on price, which isn't good. Of course, the bearish divergence here still continuing, but again, on the 4-hour, we see the EMA lines are kind of straightening themselves out. Although, you know, we're oversold on the 4-hour. I think we could see a bounce on the 4-hour. We may be concluding kind of the downward momentum here. We may get some flagging out before we have a further drop. We may even back test. We may get a pedestrian bounce and back test some areas and take some more people out before we head down further. We'll see. Let's take a look at the 2-hour here. 2-hour will give us some confirmation on things. We had a lot of exiting volume, but yeah, we can see momentum might be shifting. Again, that kind of gives credence to the fact that we might flag down or flag out. Maybe we're putting on a bear flag here in the 2-hour before we move down further and complete some of these moves I'm speaking about early week. Let's take a look at the hour. Again, you know, the bearish divergence is completed. We've had a lot of exiting volume, and you know, the question is, do we have buyers come back in? We are incredibly oversold on the hour, incredibly oversold. So I suspect we are probably incredibly oversold on the 30-minute as well, and we are so oversold it is crazy. I think we're definitely going to see a move up on the 30-minute. Yeah, we may do exactly what I spoke about. We may get a back test. We may back test this rising channel. I don't think we'll get above it right away. I think we'll probably get rejected, although we could. If institutional money comes back in this area, it's possible, but I suspect we see a move up, a rejection, and then we begin to test these areas. That's kind of what I'm feeling. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Could we get a W reversal here, or could we get a cup and a handle here? Sure, we could if institutional money comes back in, but everything is so bearish right now in the higher time frames with still more room to go down. Really, all we need to do is take care of these lower time frames where we have some buy volume come back in and then get rejected by those higher time frames and continue further to the downside. Now, I do want to point out just on the 1 minute that we did have a large volume spike come in despite all of this exiting volume. I suspect that could be institutional money. Perhaps some institutions are coming back in and they're thinking to themselves, this is bottom or close to bottom. So I could be wrong on that. So, you know, on the daily tomorrow, my most bullish case, I would say, is that, yeah, we get support here. We come back up and we test some of these areas. Perhaps we get to the top of this old channel and back test those areas to see if we're going to find some kind of support, build some kind of structure. Maybe we come up to the 429, get rejected back down, but then come back up instead of continuing further down. As I said, maybe we start to put on a W reversal of some type or a cup and handle. That's entirely possible, okay? So the most bullish I could possibly be tomorrow is, I think the most bullish I could be is we come back up to this 43772 on some kind of a reversal pattern. I would be hesitant to say we get topside of this falling channel though, but if I'm going to be as bullish as I can be, yes, I would say that. The most bearish case tomorrow I've already laid out for you, and that's really my opinion. I think we might try and get some relief here. We can start making something that perhaps looks like it's going to be a W reversal, but then we fall through. So that's the bear case. That's the bull case for the weekly. and the daily tomorrow. Let's very quickly, and I mean very quickly, check the VIX, then we're going to get you out of here. And you should know what all this means for UVXY by now if you've been following my channel. I would suggest that you go back on the VIX and see what our long-term kind of scenario is here for the VIX. You see we've been kind of flagging there now. I want to go to the weekly on the VIX so we can see this a little bit better. And yeah, you can see that we're still coiling up. We're holding our basic thesis for the VIX. Moving forward here into this symmetrical triangle, we'll see if that holds. Volatility remains on, and it remains well above the 20, and so you also know what that might mean for UVXY. So pay attention. You might be able to take some profit tomorrow, but I think overall in the week we're going to get a bounce back. We're going to be bullish to finish the week, minus some crazy news event or market collapse. Do keep in mind that China right now is having major issues with their home market. That's not going away. The projections are looking worse, even by the government itself. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Of course, China is just as adept at propping up markets as the United States is, but it is something to watch. People, we are in dangerous territory any way you slice it. I will see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow on the Market Wolf. It's been fun. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, I think you should. Go take a look at my highlights reel. I called the market point to point last week. I made a short 5-minute video highlighting that. Well worth your time to see if I'm the real deal. Okay, see you next time on the Market Wolf.